Which brings us back to the original point that you made. We're now a national and an international model. And that's why they come in to take a look at what we're doing, because we've been able to really hit that sweet spot. And it's something special, and we're on the cutting edge, and we want to build upon that in the next 3 to 5 years.
There's no doubt that you're on the cutting edge, and I'm sitting here trying to think of diplomatic ways of getting to this, and I'm not sure I'm going to be successful, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm certain that it has to do with the team that you have built. Mm-hmm. But it also must have to do with your ability to identify, first of all, the vision, mm-hmm. and then the team members that could participate.
Right.
There might be somebody out there that's as nosy about this as I am, and so I got to ask the question.
Go for it.
How do you go about identifying and wooing those people into your vision?
I'm not going to tell you. That's a trade secret.
Oh,
no. Well, that's a great question. And when I came on board as a president and CEO, I had to learn how to act like a president and CEO. I came up through the ranks, and I was kind of the top lieutenant at the convention center. So I supported Carol Wallace.
Right.
So I knew that. I knew how to get under the hood operationally and really work all the magic operationally. What I had to learn was my place as a president and CEO. I have 3 responsibilities. I raise money, I find talent, and I handle politics. And my team understands that is my place. That's my role on the team. So I'm scouting, looking for the talent, looking for bench strength. So through attrition, as we lose good individuals, we're able to pluck individuals internally and groom them up to take over, or go outside and pluck talent away that wants to come to work and do some good things and really be part of what I would think is probably one of the greatest teams here in San Diego.
Well, I certainly agree that for the evidence that I can see, which is, I'm no longer in any kind of way on the inside to see, but from what I can see, it appears that you have really managed to do a great deal of that. I'm certain that you have yet things that you would like to accomplish. But there might also be somebody out there who's wondering, yeah, okay, but how do you do that? Mm-hmm. How does one raise money and identify talent and deal with the politics? Mm-hmm. And there's something that I see that I want you to talk about and see if that has anything to do with it. You've got a growing callus mm-hmm. on your finger here mm-hmm. that you say you've got from playing golf.
That's right. Yes, yes.
Does that have anything to do with it?
That has a lot to do with it. I raised a bunch of money on the golf course.
I thought so.
We've raised a bunch of money on the golf course. So absolutely, that has a little bit to do with it. But, really my background, growing up here in San Diego, really working, inside the city of San Diego, meeting great people at the city, really investing in those relationships. So as they grew professionally, I maintained those relationships. I was able to convince them to come to work for us at the convention center. When I found out that I got this particular job, I went and talked to Carol Wallace. She was gracious enough to let me kind of cherry pick 2 or 3 of the individuals that I wanted to bring with me over to this new team.
Wow.
And that's how life is.
Wow.
I mean, when you look at any successful CEO, he or she will tell you that I pretty much handpicked some of my top lieutenants that I wanted to really go to work with so that we can be successful.
So it's all about the relationships.
It's all about relationships and understanding what skill sets everyone brings to the table. Because I don't need 2 sets of everything.
Yeah.
I just need 1 set of a particular skill set. Mm-hmm. If someone is good at creative, innovative, programs, that's 1 skill set. If someone has great writing skills, that's another. If someone understands politics, that's another skill set. I need a legal skill set. I need someone who understands organizational development. I need someone who understands money better than I do. And so when you bring all these folks to the table, my job is making sure as the coach, I'm keeping everyone happy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm helping everyone play well together.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to understand the role that they play on the team. You can't play someone else's role.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah.
play your role.
Exactly.
And so as the quarterback, I get to make that 4th and inches call, is what I say. Using a football analogy, when it's 4th down and inches, I get to say whether or not we're going to punt or we're going to go for it. And they understand that.
And they have to be willing to follow that. That brings me to the point of the next generation. Because you're wise enough, I know we talked about this before the cameras began to roll, you're wise enough to understand that in 15 years, there needs to be another wave of people who are able to envision what the city and the community are going to be needing and have the skill sets to put that into place, and you're willing to train them.
Absolutely. I think next generation leadership starts now. We have to be identifying those individuals that are on the cutting edge of really taking over future leadership positions in San Diego. Here in San Diego, we haven't been very good at that. And so I want to change that. And the only way to change that is to start now. Because, you know, the lifespan typically of a CEO is anywhere between 5 and 10 years if you're lucky. I've been here 4. So I'm coming up on the short end of my tenure as president and CEO. And that's not a negative thing necessarily. That just means I need to get the next president and CEO ready out there somewhere in the universe so they can take over and take the organization to the next level. And that's how we should be operating here in San Diego.
At least under the hood somewhere, you know, doing
They need to be learning the core operational pieces now.
Exactly. Well, you do provide internships for up-and-coming, I hate to say young people, because I don't imagine that with the workforce being what it is today, that it's just young people that are interested in positions such as they might intern for. I guess maybe I should be asking the question, is there an age limit on the interns that you will take?
Well, right now we're working with, you know, seniors in high school and individuals that have just graduated on their way to college.
I see.
And that's kind of been our focus over the last 24 months, because our belief is that those high school seniors are going to go off, get an education, and eventually come back and work at agencies like NHA and really contribute to the overall community. And I'm asking them to make that pledge. If we're investing in them as a youngster, the only thing I want in return is when you go to school and you do your thing and you graduate, you have to come back and at least give us a year or 2.
That's a reasonable expectation.
Absolutely.
And you're talking about molding intentions, molding visions, molding aspirations, and so therefore you are talking about a particular age group.
Absolutely. For now. I mean, you know, who's to say in the next 2 or 3 years we may be working with some, you know, college seniors that are ready to graduate. And part of what I want to do is really get out to some of the historical black colleges and really visit some of those Hispanic college students to convince them to come to work, because we serve a very large Latino population and African American population, and we need to start developing those next generation leaders today. Without a
doubt. Especially in this geographical area, that would be essential, I would think, and hope to be so.
Absolutely.
I am absolutely thrilled that you made the time to come, and when I say made the time, please understand how much I appreciate you spending birthday time with us here this evening, and I appreciate your family. And that must have also been and continue to be a great consideration for you in terms of your successful approaches, is to have the family support that you clearly have to have for your wife to be considerate enough to allow you to come out tonight to do this when she's got dinner waiting at home.
Well, thank you for the birthday wish, first of all, and absolutely, I can't do anything without the love and support of my wife and children. And they're as much a part of this success as my core team. And they support me back at home. So I love them to death. If you watch the show, Daddy says hello, and I love you.
Well, you know, as long as we're saying and talk about family now, see, I know Mom and Daddy too.
Yes.
So
yes.
And their investment in you is clearly paying off in multiples at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to talk at all about what that meant for you growing up as a kid in Oak Park and how that helped you to formulate who you are now?
Sure. My parents have deep roots here in San Diego. You know, we lost my dad about a year and a half ago, and, you know, that still weighs heavy on my heart. And he really taught me how to be a community leader. You know, I kind of sat on his knee. He was president and CEO of the San Diego Urban League. I watched him handle himself, and now that I'm in a leadership role, I take a lot of some of the things that he did, and I bring that to bear when I'm out and about. My mother, you know, she's everything to me. She's Miss San Diego, so most individuals know Dr. Lorraine Johnson, so I'm very, very grateful to both of them.
Well, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to them. I'm grateful to the grandparents before them, because I'm very clear about the fact that neither of us could be sitting here doing what we're doing were it not for the trail of tears that has been walked and watered by those that came before us.
Absolutely.
And I've been willing to take my place, and I see you're willing.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that there are those of you that might be watching that are also willing to take your place, to recognize that nothing that you have was purchased simply because of your efforts. There are efforts of people that came before you, suffered much more than you will ever suffer in different ways, in different arenas. But that then puts a responsibility on you, if you're willing to accept it, to take your place, to stand in place, to work for what you believe in, if you believe in family and community. That's what we believe in. That's what Neighborhood House believes in.
Absolutely.
That's what all the people that are on your team believe in.
Yes, they do.
And we're absolutely thrilled that you were here with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Indeed.
I appreciate it.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Many blessings to you. And don't forget, Sunday evenings, 6 o'clock, Cox Cable Public Access, Alyce Smith Cooper, and Community Issues, a Tapestry of Concerns. Thank you so much for being with us. Tell your friends, tell your family, record it, watch it again, because we want you to get everything that we said, because we mean it from the heart. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed, indeed. I wish you the best for your golf game.
Thank you. Appreciate it.